Our man Arajin was practicing for his first introduction in the class and Yako cheered him up. On the other side, two buddies were in a temple and got scared because they had heard a weird voice in that temple. An honky person has a strong heart and fights with great devotion. Matakara was fighting with one of the Siguma members. Arajin went to his school and his teacher told him about the Minato and Siguma squad. Arajin also saw them fighting but had no interest in that stupid stuff because he was concerned about cuties. When he went to his class he was stressed to see the giant defaulters. He introduced himself and no one was interested in him. Suddenly he saw a cute face named Maharo. He sat next to her, and she started talking. He was out of the world because of his interaction with a cute girl. Kameo and Zabu were staring at him. Matakara had won the fight, and after the class, she asked Arajin if they could go home together. He agreed, and when he tried to go after her, Zabu tried to stop him. Kameo was also stopping him, but our man flew, suddenly bumped into Matakara and was happy to see him. Matakara knew Arajin. He also remembered that they were childhood friends, but Arajin wasn't very happy to see him, so he left. He reached the gate, but the cutie had already left. Yako served the food to the buddies, and she asked Arajin if he met a girl and was blushing. She got the answer and told him to handle the restaurant because it was her showtime. He started making food. Marito was eating his sandwich and the guy told him that Matakara was a nice man, but he got angry. Yako was watching the show and Arajin was thinking about his childhood. The next day Zabu was again staring at our man. When Arajin opened his lunchbox, Maharo saw him and now they sat together and started eating. She asked if they could become friends. Our man got excited, and she asked to go out on the weekend, and he agreed. Matakara summoned him but he didn't show him any serious interest. Zabu was making fun of Arajin. Matakara left and Kameo saw Maharo, but Zabu stopped him to inform Matakara. Now Arajin was selecting a stone, and they came to him. They started playing a video game and Arajin was exhausted. Zabu was after something, and he took Kumo. Suddenly Seguma's boys came to him and asked to join the squad, but he refused and ran in his boxers. Kameo was laughing like crazy and Zabu was also happy. Otomi was standing on the road and ran into the cat hotel because the guys were coming. Arajin went to the temple and suddenly a gun dropped. He took that and pointed to the bad guys, but when fired got hit somehow. They ran away and when he woke up, he rubbed the bullet and a storm shocked him and Senya appeared. He asked for his 3 wishes and Arajin was scared. Senya was a Majin, and he told him about his history, and when he asked about his wish, our man wished to lose his virginity. Arajin asked people if they could see Senya, but they were too shy to see him in boxers. Matakara was informed about Arajin and he said he was a good guy who didn't like to fight and Zabu wasn't happy. At home, Arajin was making the stone for Maharo and Senya was disturbing him. The next day he got ready and Yako got the idea that he was going to date. He went to the location and told Senya to be quiet. Suddenly the hottie came, and our man was excited. They started eating ice cream and Senya tried to talk but it ended with nothing serious. They started talking and out of his excitement he was about to say something but ran away. He went out of the washroom and was disappointed. Maharo was waiting for him, and he gave her the stone. He was about to confess and suddenly, the Siguma squad came there. Marito showed up and introduced himself. Arajin tried to leave but Cutie stopped him and asked to fight with her brother and Arajin had no choice. Zabu was watching this and when Matakara came he also saw this and was unhappy with Zabu. Marito was beating Arajin very badly and Senya was about to leave but our man asked for his wish to lose his virginity and Senya joined with him and they stopped Marito. Matakara came and our man was fighting with Marito. It was an outstanding punch. Everyone was shocked and Matakara realized that it was like an honky person. Senya was mad at Arajin and everyone was concerned about Marito, but he kicked Arajin and he fell into the lake and Matakara jumped to save him. Marito had set his mind on making Arajin a part of the Siguma squad, a blurred past image, and when Arajin woke up Matakara was with him. Zabu saw Tatsuo and started running after him. Matakara showed Arajin the stone of friendship he had given to him. But Arajin started dressing up because he wanted to leave. Matakara was sad, Arajin was going, and Senya tried to talk but our man got angry. Otomi was again walking around and suddenly ran into the cat hotel without any desire and asked for Jasmine. Arajin was struggling with Senya and Zabu came to him and when he touched the bullet got scared and ran away. While taking a bath Arajin was thinking about the punch and Senya told him that he was an honky person and asked Arajin to get merged from back and our man was stressed. Ato was reading a book and Maharo was with her brother and asked if he was in pain. Nagar came to Marito with his guys and Marito gave him a sandwich and they talked about Arajin and Matakara. Our man was going, and everyone was talking about him, but he was angry with Senya, and when yelled everyone was shocked. Suddenly Marito ran to him, and he flew away. Zabu told Matakara about Senya and they didn't take him seriously. Matakara told them that Kenichiro wanted to meet Arajin and they would become real honky persons. Matakara was going and Marito passed by him and said he'd asked Arajin to join the Siguma squad. Arajin was in the class, and he was stressed because of Senya. Suddenly he grabbed his lunch and went out because it was Marito. He went to Maharo, who was sitting on the top. He started talking about his stupid attack on her brother, but she told him to stay away from her brother and she broke the stone. She went to Marito and was lusted but got a punch from him. Our man was very disappointed, and Senya was with him. Matakara wrote a letter to his brother Mitsukuni about Arajin and he was happy. The next day in the class Arajin was sad and Matakara came to him and asked to join Minato, but suddenly Nagar came, and they had a little argument. Arajin was scared and Matakara asked to fight. Our man relaxed but Nagar told him to meet in free time. They were ready for the fight and Senya was pushing him to support Matakara, but he was scared and suddenly his gut asked him to relax, and he ran away. Matakara was fighting like a master, and he had great flexibility in his body. Senya was waiting for our hero. The fight was going to its peak and the hot-blooded men were fighting with great motivation. When our man came, the fight was over and Nagar lost it. Senya was angry and Matakara was also in pain. Arajin grabbed him. Now they were alone and Arajin was about to leave, but Matakara told him that they could still practice becoming honky and Senya heard that. He also told him that Kenichiro wanted to meet him and now they went to meet him. When Kenichiro came, our man asked him for a fight and they agreed. Arajin with Senya punched Kenichiro, and he was also fixed in the wall. Everyone was shocked and our little man was excited, and Senya started fighting with him because his wish was still to lose his virginity. Suddenly Kenichiro stood up, walked toward him and kicked him. He was out of stability. Matakara was shocked because Kenichiro was angry, but he was in love, and everyone was stressed. At school, he was relaxed and suddenly he heard Marito and tried to run away, but he entered the class through the window. He started pushing him to join his team and Maharo was also saying the same. Our man got lusty and agreed to join the Siguma. When Matakara came, he was disappointed to hear that, but Senya was excited. Marito took Arajin and they went out. On the other side, Akutaro's team members were talking about the task they had to complete because otherwise they would be punished. Minato and Ikki Union, their leaders and Marito's powers were informed to Arajin by Tatsuo. Senya was again excited, but Arajin was dizzy. Because he had joined this group because of Maharo, suddenly Marito came and asked for a party. Our man got excited and agreed. They were going and Marito was excited. On the way, they saw bad guys bullying a man and Marito taught them a good lesson with his strong kicks. Maharo was going and she was trying to contact Marito. Suddenly Matakara tried to talk with her, but she ignored him and kept on walking. He grabbed her hand and said what he wanted to, but the cold-blooded girl yelled at him and walked away. Now Marito took him to his place and showed him to everyone and they were excited. Marito asked for their traditional game and our little man was nervous. When the game started, it was a dead end. Arajin was scared to death and the winners had to fight with Arajin at the end. The winners were ready, and the first turn was of Auta, Arajin, and Auta was in front. But Arajin was sacred, and he was begging Senya to merge with him, and when Auta punched him, Senya saved him, and everyone was shocked. The second winner was Nagar, and when they were tasked, Arajin won, but when he was about to punch, he looked at the girls. It was a trick in Japanese martial arts, and this was how he won that match again. Now it was Marito's turn, and our man got nervous and had to empty his gut, so broke, and ran to the washroom but saw Auta in a bad condition. Everyone was shocked to see Auta, but Marito didn't believe that the Minato group could do this. Now Tatsuo was talking about the history of these groups again, and when he reached home, he saw Maharo who was waiting for him. Yako was peeking, and when Arajin said he wanted to leave the Siguma, she slapped him. She requested him to be the successor of Marito and he got the failure of his virginity and she walked away, but Yako was still after her. Arajin started practicing being strong and Senya was happy to see him. When Arajin asked about merging, he looked at his back and told him that he had to practice for that. At night when Tatsuo and Nagar were going, they saw members of Minato and they had a very little fight, but the Akutaro with his team made it worse. The next day in the playing area, Arajin and Matakara were practicing. Matakara was informed about the attack, and they were shocked to see the guys. Minato Union beat the members of Siguma, but Akutaro's boys again made it worse, and when Matakara was informing Kenichiro about the attacks, Marito came and asked for a fight and Kenichiro came out. Where this misunderstanding would lead, subscribe to our channel for the latest updates.